Good evening, everyone. Today is Wednesday, June 28th. The time is 7:03 p.m., and this meeting is called to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Here.
Madam Clerk, adequate notice, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger Sentinel, and Desi Talk on December 1st, 2022, and posted main lobby municipal complex on that same date.
Thank you. Before Council President remarks, just want to note we are going to be removing Resolution 375 from the agenda, and we are going to be adding Resolution 412-062023, resolution renewing a liquor license for Akbar Restaurant. In regards to Council President remarks, I want to wish everyone that is celebrating a happy Eid al-Adha, as well as next week, happy 4th of July. For upcoming meetings, we have on July 7th, the Open Space Advisory Meeting, July 11th, Library Board Regular Meeting, July 17th, Planning Board Regular Meeting. The master plan is figured to be heard at that meeting. July 18th, Board of Education Action Meeting. For reference, this date was originally a different date, but has been changed. July 20th, Environmental Commission Regular Meeting. July 24th, Town Council Work Session Meeting. July 25th, Zoning Board Regular Meeting. And July 26th, Town Council Regular Meeting. As far as upcoming township events, on July 4th, there is the 4th of July celebration at Lake Papiani, 3 p.m. to 10 p.m. The fireworks are set to go off at 9:30. On July 15th, likewise at Lake Papiani, will be the Eid Festival, 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on August 26th is the House Music Festival at Lake Papiani, 12 p.m. to 10 p.m. Before moving on, I'm just going to review the guidelines for public comment. At this time, each speaker is allotted 6 minutes with one 3-minute rebuttal provided per meeting. A rebuttal means you're making a comment on a comment made by another member of the public on a different issue from which you originally spoke on. The deputy clerk will announce when speakers have 1 minute remaining in their speaking time to assist with timing. Any questions presented are to be addressed to the council president. Council is not required to address questions. However, I will afford the opportunity to respond to questions. In considering that a resident may request a comment from the council on a topic, council may respond to a request for comment. I do ask council members to please advise which item they will be addressing prior to be given the floor to speak. Any responses by the council or administration to posed questions will count against the speaker's time, and time will not be halted. When a speaker comes up to the podium, I will request the speaker's name and address. The speaker, if for any reason feels uncomfortable providing, can state they don't wish to present, and will recognize the speaker. I ask everyone to please be respectful of one another and maintain decorum throughout the meeting's proceedings. And with that, let's get started. At this time, we'll move on to unfinished business. Ordinances for further consideration, public hearing, and final adoption. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance.
Ordinance to exceed the municipal budget appropriation limits and to establish a cap bank.
At this time, I'd like to open it up to the public for public comment. Seeing none, oh, sorry, sir.
Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood Road.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. Can you just explain how the cap bank works to us citizens who may not know? That's all I'm asking for. Thank you.
Well, for the ordinance, there's two technical aspects to it. There's the cap bank, which allows, well, first is the appropriations amount, which is the total expenditures that the township can make. The cap bank is essentially the difference of expenditure that the township can save for future use, and I believe it's up to 2 years after.
That's correct.
So as an example, if it's $100 and the total cap amount is 2% and the amount allocated that year is 1.5%, you would have up to $102 that you can do. If we approve 1.5%, that means we're approving $101.50. That 50 cents difference can be capped for 2 years where it can be applied to future budgets. So I hope that does a good enough job explaining the bank. Any other comments from council members to address? Seeing none?
Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patil?
is the question, or can I ask the question on this one?
If it's okay to
Close the
wait
public
for the
portion.
council comments at?
Absolutely,
aspect?
yeah.
I appreciate it, thank you. Any other comments from the public in regards to ordinance 2177? Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close public portion?
Second?
Motion by Council Vice President Harris, second by Councilman Patel. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Public portion is now closed. At this time, and just for order of procedure, there will be a motion, and then council comments and questions can be made after. At this moment, can I get a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Coyle, second by Council Vice President Harris. At this time, council comments. Councilman Patil?
Thank you, Council President. Just want to clarify two things. The cap bank limit, even though it will establish how much the government can spend or a municipal government can spend, doesn't mean that that amount will be spent. Just want to make it clear that if it is $105, doesn't mean that it's $105 will be spent. It could be 101, it could be 102. Just want to make that clear. My second question or clarification is, as of June, we are still 1/12 a month that we spent, and there was nothing more than that that would really exceed the current cap bank and not the projected cap bank. 1/12 of the last year's budget for the last 6 months. Did we exceed any of that? In terms of our appropriations, did we exceed the spending or the appropriations 1/12 of last year's budget for every single month until June?
But just a point of clarification, are you asking if we are on par with spending as,
No, with the current cap bank, not with the proposed.
yes.
Okay. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you, Councilman Patil. Any other questions or comments? Yes, Councilman Brescher?
Yes. I don't know that, I mean, do we need it? We don't know, right? Like my council colleague just said, we could need it, but maybe we don't need it. Maybe we don't need it all. Being that I haven't received any of the backup yet to go through it, I don't see a need. But I would request, too, that the council be given everything that we've spent to date in all of our departments as of June 30th. Now, I know June 30th hasn't happened yet, but that would be before our next meeting, just so that we could see where we are budget-wise as far as spending. So if we can just get that, before the next meeting in July. That would be it, Council President. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Any other questions or comments? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Abstain.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
No.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. Madam Clerk, please read ordinance.
Ordinance amends Chapter 27, Department of Sewer and Water by amending subsection 27.7-6 prohibiting waste.
At this time, I'd like to open it to the public for any comments. Seeing none, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close public portion?
Seconded.
Motion by Council Vice President Harris, second by Councilman Patil. All in favor? Aye. The public portion is closed. At this moment, can I get a motion?
Motion to adopt.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Patil, second by Councilman Patel. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. At this time, I'd like to open up to the public on comments to the resolutions only.
Afternoon, Council. Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood Road. Just wanted to speak a second on R410, the resolution rejecting the sole bid for the school guard crossing services. I'm in support of this. I would hope that you would be in support of this too. I believe that the way that this has went down and that there's only one and that there is not sufficient documentation in that one gives you an excellent opportunity to rethink the administration's outsourcing of school guard crossing services. I believe that it should stay in-house. I believe that you're going to run out of time before next school year. So if you want to do this, fine. Think about it for the next school year after this coming one in 2024. But you've run out of time, and so you should pass this one, and you should keep those services under roof within the administration. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments from the public? Sir?
Thank you for recognizing me.
I will request name and address, understanding you can deny if you so choose.
Thank you for recognizing me.
You're recognized. Thank you.
I'd like to speak the last one, R411, resolution authorizing abandoned vehicle auctions. How long would the vehicle need to be outside someone's home before Sam Joshi considers it abandoned? Is there any standard operating procedures for that, or someone just comes out and determines, okay, it's there 2 days too long, 3 days too long?
In respect for your time, would you like us to try to address now or at the end after all your questions?
Yeah, because it's like, what are you gonna do? Eminent domain, people's personal vehicles now? First it's the homes, now it's the vehicles. I don't like that. You guys are stealing the property of the residents who live in this town. I mean, why wasn't it on the agenda before?
Yeah. I apologize, I don't have that
Yeah, but who
exact answer at
defines
the moment.
what's abandoned? I understand it's abandoned. Something could be there 10 years, I understand, but the way Sam Joshi, could he consider it an eyesore? It might not really be abandoned. He can consider it an eyesore. That's a good question. Resolution rejecting sole bid for school crossing guard services. From what I take it, a lot of people are applying, and the Edison police are denying the applications. Some possibly discriminatory. Are there any standard operating procedures on guidelines on how you qualify? So this way people know. Do people actually qualify to be crossing guards, and one police officer makes a determination, hey, I don't like this person? That's a good question. That's the way I took it when I watched the last meeting. If I apply to be a school crossing guard, will they accept my application? You know what, I'm gonna apply right after this meeting. Who do I have to apply to? No one? You don't know who I have to apply to for the school crossing guard position?
I don't have that answer. If any council would like to
All right,
address at this moment.
don't worry, I'll figure it out. You guys are looking for people for school crossing guards, but you don't have the information on who they should ask. Resolution 409, last time this was on the thing, it didn't, I could be wrong, but I don't remember saying 300,000. I remember the chief of police saying it'll cost 500,000, but when the resolution was on here, it said 50,000. So, I mean, what's going on with the fluctuating numbers? If it's gonna cost 500,000, we can wait, we shouldn't spend that. Is this for the gun range?
No,
This isn't for the gun range, R409.
no.
Which one's the gun range?
That was at the previous meeting. in
It was
regards to
already passed?
That was for engineering services for that
Okay,
project.
so you passed that already. So what's the 300,000 gonna be spent on?
It's in regards to several items, whether it be ammunition, my understanding, like bulletproof vests, tactical gear,
I say
radars,
give
I
them
believe.
nothing. Give them nothing until they get their act together and stop framing residents for things that never even occurred. That's one way they can get their act together. If the council vetoes everything they ask for, they're gonna have to, it's up to you guys. But you won't do it. How much time do I have left, Marlena? 2 minutes. God bless America. Okay. And for the rest of them, I'm against all the ones on here for today. $80,000 for leaf bags? And that's going to be given to residents? Residents can't buy their own leaf bags? First, we're spending money on flowers, and now it's the leaf bags? Who's behind the leaf bags?
This is an annual purchase. Last year was 80,000, I believe 640. The increase has been $200 in comparison to last year's appropriation.
We're not even close to fall yet. Are you going to make another purchase when it comes closer to fall? Mysterious? No? It's going to be a one-time. I'm against it. It's a very silly purchase. Someone wants leaf bags, they can go to Home Depot and get the leaf bags themselves. It's a little bit communist to me, I mean, there's a lot of stuff I want you guys to buy me specifically. You're not going to buy it for me. You know what? I'm going to come back for a list. I'm going to give you the list. And everything on the first, how much time do I have left? All right. And I'm against R368. I want to know who the township employee who crashed the bus. Were they drunk when they crashed the bus? Is that person going to be, are we going to fix the bus and it's going to be the same person driving again? That's a good question. And when the Honorable Councilwoman Joy Ship Freeman was speaking about this resolution yesterday, thankfully you respected her rights, but another councilman, Councilman Coyle, you wanted to violate her right to speak, and thank you.
Thank you. Any other, anyone else in regards to speaking on any of the items from the resolutions? Yes.
Ben's from Edison, New Jersey. Do I have the floor?
Thank you.
Thank you. For resolution for these liquor license, where is it? I just had it. You guys are gonna start passing these liquor license. Yeah, I am. What is it? Resolution. I think. What is it? Which one was it? Which one is it? I think 398, all the way down towards. I think 405.
408, and just for clarification, and if you can please stop the speaker's time.
Please.
These are just annual renewals. These are establishments that already have a liquor license. but on
Yeah,
an
Richie
annual
Sports
basis.
Bar, all that. Yeah, I'll.
Please start the speaker's time again. Thank you.
Yeah, so I'll agree to approve that, but that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shout out to Richie Sports Bar. Chestnut.
Anyone else wishing to speak on the resolutions only? This time, can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close. Second.
Motion by Councilman Coyle, second by Council Vice President Harris. All in favor? The public comment on the resolutions is closed. At this time, I'll ask if there are any resolutions to poll for a separate vote, starting from my right, Councilman Brusher.
I'll try 359, 360, 376, and 386.
359, 360, 376, and 386.
Correct.
Thank you. Councilman Coyle?
375 for a separate vote. 375 for a, okay, I'm
Oh,
sorry.
that's been, sorry, that was removed from the
Yeah,
agenda.
I just walked in, sure. That's it, none, sir.
Thank you. Council Vice President Harris?
None, sir.
Councilman Patel?
Yes, I do have a couple. I'm not sure which ones have been pulled so far. Can you just tell me the list?
Just, if it's okay, please just state what you would like, and then if there's double, I'll
Okay.
reference it.
360. Is 375 on?
That was removed earlier. Yep,
376
that was already pulled.
and 384 and
Yep,
384. And then the emergency water main, that's the number I'm looking for. I don't have the number saved.
386, which Councilman Brusher had already pulled, so
So Councilman Patel only pulled one then.
that would be 384 in addition to 360, 376, and 386, which Councilman
were
Brusher
already- yeah,
had
they were
already
already
pulled.
done.
Yep. Councilman Patil, sorry.
Again, I'm going through the list that were pulled, but I'll just skip those. I would like to pull additional 366.
366. Councilwoman Schiff Freeman?
They called them all. I'm good. President, I'm good.
And I do not have any on my end. So just to revisit, 359 for a separate vote will be 359, 360, 366, 376, 384, and 386. So the consent agenda will consist of 361 through 365, 367 through 374. 375 again was pulled from the agenda. 377 through 383, 385, and 387 through 412. Any other? Just want to make sure.
Look, just want to make sure that this is already.
Yes,
numbered.
that's 412.
Okay, 412.
Thank you. At this point, can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion approves consent agenda.
Second.
Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Schiff Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. Just for simplicity, I'll go down the list numerically, starting with 359. Councilman Brusher?
Yes, this is the same item, I guess, over and over, where until I get information, I'm going to vote no on the bill list. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions or comments?
No, just Council President,
Yes, Councilman Patil.
yeah, I got the confirmation from our administration that we are in line with 1/12 of monthly spending, so I'm good with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Council President?
Yes,
I think-
Councilwoman Schiff Freeman.
Is there any way Councilman Brusher can get the backup? Like before our next meeting?
Well, I believe the request has been for certain line items on the legal aspect. In regards to the disbursement reports, there are a line item on the disbursement. So I know that might be two separate things technically.
Okay.
Am I understanding that correctly?
Yeah, I mean, it could be. I'm not even looking at it. Until I get it, I'm just going to vote no. They might not be in there, but just where it is.
I understand. At this moment, can I get a motion on 359?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Councilman Patil, second by Council Vice President Harris. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Abstain.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. 360 for the tax sales certificates. Councilman Brescher?
Yes. We talked about all these tax sales, and I guess until we end up reevaluating the town, we're going to have tremendous, and they're just going to lead to other things. So I just wanted that pulled for a separate vote on that. That was it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Any other questions, comments, or concerns?
Council President?
Yes, Councilman Patel?
Councilman Patil asked about what is the dollar amount benefit to Edison residents with this tax sale certificate? I just wanted to know, did we get that information?
We're still working on that.
Okay.
Okay. That's exactly the question I wanted to ask. Thank you, Councilman.
Council President,
Yes, Councilman
I'm
Coyle?
looking forward to support this resolution. I think it's challenging to have a crystal ball to predict how tax appeals come together and the challenges between attorneys and values and how the predictions come out. I think we've come a long way with tax appeals in Edison. If you look back with the Lenke administration or Resiglian administration, we've done good. Thank you.
Just for clarification, 360 is in regards to the tax sales certificate, not the tax appeal. Just
I'm
wanted to make
sorry. All right, I got the wrong one.
sure. Any other comments, questions, or concerns? Just as a general question on my end, if I can ask either to our business administrator or attorney, this is something that just tax sales certificates in general is just a state policy that we have to follow. Am I correct in that? Or
State policy?
maybe I'm misphrasing, but a standard procedure that the township follows on an annual basis, correct?
Yes, I mean, every municipality throughout the state engages in the sale of tax sale certificates for the purposes of gaining the tax revenue in the year in which you need it, in the hopes that gaining that in the buyer of those tax certificates hopes that they can collect on it on a future date. So this is something that a municipality does to make its budget across the state.
And these refunds are because the property owners become current with those tax or
Negatively, yes.
payment obligations.
That's correct, yes.
Just wanted to make sure. Thank you.
Councilman, just want to make the comment here, and we did discuss this when the tax sale certificate went out, and we had a healthy debate on this council dais. The reason I made this comment and asked that specific information, because we know that the people are delinquent because they are struggling. And my ask that point in time was, especially during the COVID time, can we make that as a 0% interest rate or at least bare minimum? And we live in Edison. We know that the tax sale goes like this with the premium on that. However, if township is getting benefited with this, it was okay to approve, but that is the reason I asked that question, saying, okay, because we do send the letters, the reminders, we spend money on informing taxpayers that they owe the tax. But if we are not getting that money back and we are handing over that interest rate to third party who is doing the business with the township, that's where my concern is. I would prefer to get that money because the taxpayer is anyway paying that money. That money has to go in our tax, that an income rather than giving it to the third party. That's only the comment I wanted to make. Thank you, sir.
Council President?
Yes,
I
Councilwoman
remember us
Schaefer.
discussing in earlier times about us not, for the people who were struggling, that we gave them a little more leeway. We're talking about the people that are like really low on their incomes and stuff. So we had discussed that because somebody had asked, would we take a house from somebody or take something from somebody for a mere amount that's under a certain dollar amount? And we had discussed that earlier, that we wouldn't do that. So the community is aware that we're not zeroing in on those type of people.
Thank you. I admit, I forget if we had already motioned on this or not. No. My apologies. So at this moment, can I get a motion?
Motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Council Vice President Harris, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Abstain.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Abstain.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes, motion passes. 366, Councilman Patil, but I believe.
I'll not make any comments because, yeah, we had the closed door
Right.
meeting. I'll not make any comments. The reason I pulled this for a separate vote, so because I will not be supporting this.
Thank you.
Recommend no further comment.
At this point, can I get a motion?
A motion to approve?
Second.
Motion by Councilman Patel, second by Council Vice President Harris. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
No.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
No.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. 376, Councilman Brescher.
I thank you for sending me over some of the documents today, but I'd like to just go through and get some clarity here. Currently, there are no bleachers there for the parents to sit and watch the children play because the bleachers are removed and they're facing like the pond. So it's facing in the opposite direction. So something would have to be done anyway. When I was looking at the drawings, it looks like if we relocate the bleachers now, they're going to be closer to the building. Like right now, they're at the other side of the field. So if you're going to build a building, they're at the other side of the field. There is no safety issue. And that's what I heard was the reason we're doing it was for a safety issue. But the bleachers are on the other side of the field. They look like it's going to be moved into in front of the building, at which time if we move the bleachers now over to where the building is, and then we're moving it into the construction zone, so we're actually making it unsafe. If that's what I'm looking at on those drawings, but if the answer isn't about if the answer is about safety, then yes, this is a no for me because it's obviously safer to have it where it is now. But if the problem is that there's no place for the parents to sit because they were anticipating doing the building first, right? Then that would make sense, right? Then that was a coordination issue we have, and we would need to accommodate, the parents and grandparents that want to go watch their kids play.
Just because I know I went to visit the field today, so I had a similar question. Sonia, would you mind elaborating, or would you like me to?
I'd sent over the information from our engineering team, and they're in support of having them removed and moved. I can certainly try to get some more clarification, but I believe that.
So I'm trying to separate because I deal on the residential side, and change orders are done one way versus
Public procurement.
possible public procurement. So the question is, the actual change order authorization, this is in regards to funding the change order, correct? Because to Councilman's point is that those bleachers are already moved. My understanding, so the authorization for the work technically has been done. We're authorizing the final payment for that change order.
Correct.
That's what this is. So the initial scope of work on the turf field did not have the bleachers being moved during the turf field part of the construction, which is what's currently going on. My understanding with engineering in that, in review of the timelines, it made sense to actually have the turf field contractor, which the name's escaping me, perform that work now instead of having the sports building contractor do the work of removing the bleachers during the construction, which may occur during the part of the season. I don't know if I'm doing a just job in explaining that. The keeping it on the opposite side, my understanding is that there's an opportunity for new bleachers to be installed on the home field side, which is where the building is going. So having all those items in consideration, the recommendation is to keep the bleachers that are currently on the home field side, keep them on the away team side, and then have a new set of bleachers be installed at the home field side. That would occur at a later date.
My question is, if we vote no, right, where do the parents and grandparents sit?
Right now,
Because I didn't see anywhere in the contract, they had to remove them in the contract, but there was nothing
well,
in
from the turf
turf guys.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. On the turf field contract, correct. On the sports building contract, the drawings showed that they were going to be deconstructed, moved to the side, and then reconstructed back in their existing location. I know I sent over the elevations, and that's why I was, maybe I didn't do such a good job, but that's why I was trying to show where the building lines up to where the bleachers were. So if they had to, without knowing when the bleachers would be reinstalled and allowing for the viewing when the sport games are occurring, like say if they were still building the second story, but they put the bleachers back, to me, that would be a safety concern, without knowing what the full, obviously, Gantt chart schedule is. That's how I interpreted it.
Right, but and that's what I'm saying. So that makes it more dangerous. If we move them now, we're going to move the bleachers to where they're supposed to be.
No,
correct?
they're going to be moved to the opposite field, so there won't, during
Oh,
the
so we're going
sports-
to add to the scope of the building and adding an extra set of bleachers, basically.
in theory, yes.
Okay, because you know what it was, when we were here, we were talking that it was a safety issue. And looking at the drawings and everything, it would be more of a safety issue to move them at
Yeah,
this
put them-
present time. The real issue is that it was not in the turf field spec to relocate, it was just to remove.
Sorry, I thought the backup
Right.
stated that it was going to remain on the opposite side. So technically during the sport building
Okay.
construction, you wouldn't have that bleacher set there. It would be on the opposite side.
Okay, right. I mean, that was my whole concern was about the whole safety thing. And then when I looked at it, there was no safety issue. So I'd like the engineer to tell me, because he told you, where this safety issue, you know.
I provided that information to the
did you?
council president, I did.
Council President, point of order. Can we move to a vote, unless we're going to table this?
No,
If the councilman wants further review to table, and we have a group that wants to table it, I'm not involved in the day-to-day operations of administration and project management. That's not my full-time responsibility. If I want to go there and do that every day, I'd love to, but I can't. I'm relying on the administration and their choice to do this. I understand this extension, and I support that. Either we table it or we vote. Thank you, Council President.
Council President, you know, I'd just like to say this is a discussion item, right? If Joe Coyle wants to vote yes on everything, so he can get out of here early to go plant more flowers, that's up to him.
This
But
is-
I really don't, I really need this with him.
Gentlemen.
Council President, I'm just asking for the people listening.
Point of order, I will maintain decorum here. I agree that this is a discussion. In my purview, I believe that I actually agree with the assessment of if in the current two contract structure, that if the bleachers were to still be there, it would be a safety issue. That's why I'm personally in agreement with it being relocated to the opposite side. I also understand that with both projects happening simultaneously in the projected timelines, that there may be issues that from my understanding, they may come up that could cause issues. I don't know. That's why personally, I think that I would like to see us move forward with it now on a personal note.
Council President?
Agree. Thank you.
Oh, I would like to-
Councilwoman Schiff Freeman, thank you.
I'd like to thank you and Councilman Brescher for explaining it more thoroughly so I could get a better understanding, because I was a little gray on it for a minute. But between the two, you explaining it explicitly to me, now I feel more confident in my vote. Thank you.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Councilman Patel?
I remember you bringing this up during the work session about whether or not we can get credit from the other project. Is that going to still happen?
To our business administrator?
Sure, I can explain that. So, given the fact that this happened now, what we will do is issue an addendum to the sports building project, in that to remove the, in the specifications, there was demolition mentioned about the bleacher, so that will be removed.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Council President?
Yes,
And
Councilman
on
Patel?
same line, the question that was brought up during the work session, the bleachers are already removed, correct?
In technicality, yes.
Yes. Who moved and who paid for it? And that's where we are talking about the credit back, right? So if it is us, we are going to get the credit. As I said, it's all about if we spend the money, we should get it back. And as long as that happens, I'm happy to support this.
And I agree. That's why I brought up the point about the credit, which engineering did verify that that is going to they're going to seek that. And in reviewing the bid spec in regards to how they lay out the change order and whom and what it can cover, it also includes decrease of the scope of work. To my understanding, as long as it's not in a manner that would overall change the outlay or the totality of the project, which on a two-story sport complex compared to the bleacher aspect, to me is not a major addendum from the overall scope of work.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Any other question, comments, or concerns?
No.
Thank you.
Motion to approve.
Second?
Motion by Councilman Patil, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. 384, Councilman Patel.
What is the timeline for this to be up and running? Sonia?
Our DPW director hasn't been around, so I will get that to you.
Okay.
Thank you.
I'm super excited for this, so as soon as you can. Thank you.
It's typically 30 to 45 days on average, but I'll confirm that with you.
Thank you very much. So this is important because with this, we can finally start on that bike path that we've been waiting for a long time. Thank you, Council.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Seeing none, can I get a motion?
Motion to adopt?
Second?
Motion by Council Vice President Harris, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel. Yes. Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman. Councilmember Ship Freeman.
It's me now? Okay. Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes, motion passes. And finally, 386, Councilman Brescher.
It goes back to where I talked about the water, and we're not investing in doing that. We're just handling it as emergencies. So this is a symbolic no vote until the administration starts investing in our water department. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question? Yes, Councilwoman Ship Freeman.
All right, Council President, I really don't like the way this is going, but at the same time, I can't have water running all through the streets in Edison, so, you know what I mean? I wish we could move on past this and get to the steps we need to get to so we won't have to keep doing emergencies. But emergency is emergency.
Thank you, sorry. Heartburn.
That's fine.
Councilman Patil? Oh, sorry, I thought you nodded.
No.
Councilman Patel, all right.
All right, so I had a question on what happened to the American Water money that we set aside for this particular project. what happened to that money? Do we have an answer to that? Not yet. Okay. So getting back to that, and I think the water department has a good plan, and they're trying to mitigate the emergencies. And I will trust them to do their work, what they're hired for, and they seem to be professionals. So I will let them do their work. Thank you.
Thank you. And for myself, I know the dollar amount has a little bit of a sticker shock to it, but if you recall from last year, the original resolution amount was 450,000 with a add-on of 250. So from ensuring that the funds are there to be able to handle emergency repairs, I'm in support of that. And information that I have, which I know is not a direct schedule of repair, but when I analyze what was provided for last year and the first quarter in regards to the main replacements that have happened, pardon me, I did notice a trend downward in the amount of mains that were being replaced at that time. Obviously, I don't have like the past 2 months information. I would hope that because of previous work done, that it would continue to be on a downward trajectory. So taking that with, in considering making sure that we have enough funds available to address any emergency repairs, I think that we should proceed with this. But understanding the point about having a projected timeline and of where we're looking to go with the replacements, not only of the mains, but of the lines as well. At this point, can I get a motion?
Motion to adopt?
Second.
Motion by Council Vice President Harris, second by Councilman Patil. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brusher.
No.
Councilmember Coyle.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patel.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Ship Freeman.
Yes.
Council President Pointer.
Yes. Motion passes. At this time, we'll open it up for oral petitions and remarks, starting from the list. Maria Orchid.
Maria Orchid, 83 Jefferson.
Thank you. You're recognized.
Thank you. On July 4th, looking forward to the fireworks at Roosevelt Park. On July 5th through the 15th, Ain't Misbehavin' at Roosevelt that plays in the park. July 8th is Cypress Brewery's 8th anniversary. Congratulations. July 13th, the Clara Barton Neighborhood Preservation Meeting. Yes, we are back live at the Clara Barton First Aid Squad, looking for everyone to come and join us. July 15th, we're doing a cleanup at Silver Lake. Would love for you to join. You'll find interesting things there. July 15th, the Clara Barton Historic Day at the Clara Barton Library at 11 a.m. July 15th, come join us at the ID Festival, Lake Papiani, from 3 p.m. to 7 p.m. On July 20th, the Edison Environmental Commission. We'd love to have anyone come, especially students. July 29th, the Edison Environmental Commission, beautiful Edison, and the police department will be tackling the graffiti and litter. So if you know of any locations, please let us know. July 25th, Human Relations Commission at 7:15. August 1st, National Night Out, 8 p.m. The movie is yet to be determined. Having 2 striping machines is a great idea. Looking forward to those bike paths. My question is, where will those trucks be stored? Have we fixed the garage? Please make sure the animals are removed before the fireworks start. We wouldn't want them to be startled with any large noises. I experienced a problem the other day when someone walking their dog did not pick up the remains. Just a reminder, please pick up after your dog. The other day I saw a deer walking in the middle of the street. It was in Clara Barton. We were scared that the deer might get hit, but luckily it didn't. So wondering, how's that deer committee going? Loved the Edison Art Society at Lake Papiani. Those two great events. Wondering about the calendar of events. There's a lot of great things that happen in Edison, but we wouldn't know it. If there's a deadline before the next calendar comes out, of like you put the events on the calendar or maybe the events in the illuminator, so more people in residence would know what's going on.
Agreed.
I haven't seen the street sweeper. Is that still around? Looking forward to the public advocate and the master plan. A question today, farmer's market. I went to the one in Metuchen. It was great. They had a chef showed how to cook different vegetables. Last, have we surveyed the crossing guards and asking them how we can attract more crossing guards? They're the ones that do the job. They know what's needed. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll open it to council if they'd like to address any of the questions. You mind if I go first? To our business administrator, do you know where the striping machine will be stored?
2 weeks.
I meant like a physical location that it will be like stored at. Is it at like one of the garages?
One of at the Rhodes Garage, yes.
Thank you. In regards to the Deer Committee, we're looking to set up a meeting with one of the state agency representatives. I forget her name off the top of my head, but I had mentioned that at Monday's meeting. I guess to our clerk, is there a deadline for calendar of events to like to request?
I'm not in charge of calendar events for the website.
A follow up on that.
Administration.
The street sweeper, I've personally seen it around, so I know that it's still there. And I believe a couple months ago, we actually authorized the purchase of a new one, an Elkin manufacturer. The farmer's market, there is consideration for it. I had spoken to Dr. Patel, the new health director, about a month and a half ago with it. I know that she's still getting into the groove of things with her new role, but I know that it is on the radar, I believe. And I guess to our business administrator, did the crossing guards get surveyed at all for any feedback?
Yes, absolutely. So a little over a year ago, we actually entered into negotiations, had long discussions with the crossing guards and the union representative to discuss exactly what the issues were. I think even before I got here, these were discussed, the bid package was put together. At that point, we did raise the rate. However, the issues still maintain that finding crossing guards has been difficult. As the lieutenant stated on Monday evening, part of the issue too is that there is a medical exam, extensive medical exam that crossing guards go through, and sometimes those do not successfully happen. So there's a variation of things that happen in order for you to qualify to be a crossing guard. So that was one of the issues that were brought up and clarified by the lieutenant on Monday.
Thank you. Any comments or questions or responses from council members in regards to questions?
No, only about the information. The reason why you have some information from Metuchen and other places, because they actually have an events planner. So they're paid to make sure if they don't get the information out, they're not getting paid. So that's a kind of a little different than it is here in Edison for Metuchen. Thank you.
Thank you. Next up on the list, Mr. Diamond. Passes. Next up, Sarit. Thank you. Apologies if I mispronounced.
Good evening. I'm Sumit Kaur Soin, and I'm from District 62. I'm the committee member. This is my first time here, so I apologize. I have this petition, and I have few pictures from the park. I really want you guys to go through this before I start. Is it okay?
If you could just please hand it to the deputy clerk.
So the reason we all are here today with few of our neighbors is that we want this park to be renovated. This park is a jungle. It is not a park anymore. You can go through the pictures, which we took this week. The grass needs reseeding. There is so much weed everywhere. I mean, it looks like a jungle. I don't need to explain more than that. The walkway to the court has tripping hazards. The pictures are there. It needs to be repaved. Kids walk there, they bike there, they run there. And I have seen parents like literally running after the kids just to make sure that they don't fall. There are no lights in the park, and once it gets dark, it really gets dark really fast. If there are few lights in that area, it is good for the families because there are 4 streets which go out from the park. So we need lights there basically. Then you can see the court. Like I don't need to explain more than that what's in the picture there. The court is there, the blacktop is there, there are no nets, there is no basketball, hoop, there's nothing. All that got bad after the Sandy. And Sandy has gone, it's been like more than 10 years that we got over Sandy, right? But this park was never renovated after all that, what happened then. There is debris, there is, like you can see, it needs a whole cleanup. So we are here requesting if we can get this summer so that we don't get any accidents there. Because people are using the park because this is the need of all the streets there, and this is the need of our residents. We really want this park to be renovated as soon as.
Would you like any of us to comment on?
No, I just want to know the procedure, how can we proceed with this? Like, this is my first time, I don't know how it happens.
Council President.
In regards to procedure?
Because I'm on the master plan committee, so I'm going to bring it to their attention immediately about your park and about it, because I noticed even in my neighborhood, I moved there like 20 years ago, but people are not looking at the new demographics. The new demographics bring more children. So, and as your husband there, an educator, like me, you know the need for children to be able to get outside. So I'm going to immediately, call up and check it out tomorrow and see if that's not in our master plan to be done sooner than later, all right?
I'll check with you.
Council President?
Just to stick with guidelines in regards to a question on procedure, technically.
Yeah, I just wanted, Sonia, what would be the best way to get the residents what they want? And how quickly can we work on this?
Can I have a copy of what you've received? That would be really helpful to start with, and I certainly address those issues.
I apologize. I know that it's a bit nuanced in how I'm conducting, but I have to treat everyone fairly and equally. So if I allow something,
No worries, yeah.
Okay.
Council President, I believe this park is on our list to have a full renovation this year.
Correct.
We'll follow up if that's.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's what actually in a consequence, again, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we did bring this to mayor's attention, especially during March, April timeframe. I personally went there. I'm very well aware of the situation, and thank you for again reviving our memory, but I know for sure this is planned.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And thank you.
I just have a follow-up question. What is going to happen in that park?
Just for record purposes, I have to follow by the list. Are you Brenda by chance?
Yes.
Okay. And I
It's
have to
signed right
ask,
after.
I have to ask name and address if that's okay.
Sure. Brenda, 6 Remington.
Thank you. You're recognized. I appreciate the understanding.
Thank you. So just wanted to add on. So what we were looking to, we were hoping to happen in the park was the lights, the revitalization of the courts. I mean, the grass and the paving is definitely there. But is there a way to find out what is in the plan for things to be done?
In regards to recent resolutions that address some of those items, I know we recently passed the the playground surfacing and the playground equipment, I believe, was
Yes,
one of them. And I believe fencing as well, but I have to follow up. But we can definitely, your contact information is on we can definitely follow up and send you, I guess, a game plan, so to say.
Sure, sure. And, and the lights is very important too. So I don't know what exactly is in the plan. So that's important. The courts are there, the lights are there. That's beyond just saying we are revitalizing the park with the grass.
Understood. We'll try to get a specific plan to bring to your attention from the administration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Council President, also tell them we're going to have another open meeting. Master plan is going to also have another open meeting for you to have the opportunity to come speak again to the participants in the master plan.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll use the acronym HHOTP.
You know how to say it, right?
Again, anyone by the acronym HHOTP.
Council President, can I just ask the clerk to collect the names of the point persons so we communicate with them for the park through the administration?
I believe.
I'm looking on here, I don't see the name of, I see a lot of signatures of petitioners for park, but I don't have a.
Yeah, well.
Okay, we'll get to that later, not a problem.
Council President, I do have the point of contact. I will pass on.
Okay, pass, thank you.
Okay, thank you. Sir.
Thank you. Am I recognized?
I'll ask name and address, understanding you do not need to state.
Thank you for recognizing me.
You're recognized, thank you.
I would like to hand this in to the clerk, Marlene. I would like for copies to be made and handed to every council person of this. Specifically for the first one, we can give it to Councilman Brescher. He's the only one who does anything about anything. Okay? I'm going to be filing 2 more ethics complaints, specifically against Councilman Coyle for trying to violate Councilman Brescher's right to speak today. He was insinuating somehow Brescher was out of order when he wasn't, for his own personal benefit. And then the last council meeting, intimidating Councilwoman the most honorable Councilwoman Joy Ship Freeman. Her civil rights were violated, and he shouldn't have did that. He knows better. He knows better.
Council President is wrong, and it's not correct.
Sorry.
I'm not here for confrontation.
The gentleman has the floor, thank you.
Thank you. It's immature for confrontation, Councilman Quill. It's my time. You're violating Robert's Rules of Order, interrupting the speaker, and you know that. You know that. So stop playing stupid about it, all right?
I'm speaking to the Council President. If I want to speak to the Council President, I can.
For the second time, I'm just gonna
Council President, you can stop the clock when I speak.
I'm just gonna ignore the childish antics.
Marlena, please stop the clock. I don't want your time to be interrupted.
Thank you.
We're not going to have, much like I would not like outbursts from people in the seats there. I would not like outbursts from my colleagues up here. Thank you. Please start the gentleman's time. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm not here for confrontation. I'm here to do my constitutionally protected activity. If he doesn't respect that, he can quit his job. I would like a civil rights committee. I would like Joyce to be heading that civil rights committee. I would like a civilian police oversight committee with guess who? I would like Joyce to head that committee as well. Because at the end of the day, IA is covering up for the Edison cops. And, you know, I have an IA complaint on each IA officer in Edison. Which one of them are gonna? So who's gonna take care of my IA complaint? Specifically, IA is a part of the conspiracy to maliciously falsify police reports in order to maliciously prosecute me. I have the proof about it too. I have the evidence. It's all caught on body-worn camera. They're so stupid they record their own criminal activities breaking federal law on their own body-worn camera. Okay? The mayor refused to raise the Greek flag. And he also refused to raise the flag on the Juneteenth. Yet, you know, he's raising these flags that mean nothing for other things, you know? Absolutely disgusting. And how much time do I have left, Marlena? And I want to get to what I'm really here for. I watched body-worn camera footage of Edison cops trying to solicit a false confession from a lifelong Edison resident, A.J. Benz, for an arson that never happened. Think about that. Normally, you frame somebody for something. Normally, it actually happens. The event actually happens. This time, they'll frame you for something that never even happened. And the Middlesex County Prosecutor's Office, they're such geniuses, they'll pursue it to the very end. But, you know, I'm just absolutely disgusted by it, you know. What if he would have falsely confessed? You guys would have closed the book. No one would have realized he was innocent. So a black mulch pile catches on fire itself. They got that property for $5,000. It should have cost over $1 million easy. They got that property pennies on the dollar. Part of the contract was they were supposed to lower their mulch pile from 70 feet down to 30 feet. It's never been done. Can we take that property back away from them now? I'd like someone to answer that question. Because, you know, if this company's maliciously falsifying police reports with Edison Police Department against the residents here in this township, they don't deserve that property. Absolutely not. Absolutely disgusting. Everyone's going to find out an Instagram supermodel and her boyfriend that was drafted into the NHL are not victims. Absolutely disgusting. They try to get me for a first-degree conspiracy. There can never be a first-degree conspiracy. Even if you conspire to a first-degree crime, it's second degree. The judge should have saw that and questioned it right on the spot, but they're all in collusion with each other here in corrupt Middlesex County. There's no evidence in my file. I got 3 cases. This is going to be better than the Johnny Depp trial. I am going to destroy. I don't even need a lawyer, but I got the best lawyer in the universe. My lawyer can redefine the universe, actually. Good luck. 1 minute left? All right. So not only can my lawyer redefine the universe, I don't need him. I could defeat. These charges are so stupid, I could have done it myself. I just got him for the extra measure. He's going to destroy this township when he's done with it. I love you, Joyce. You should have been on the ticket. You were framed. I'm going to speak later on about it, possibly, but as well. But God bless America. What's going on in this town with these cops? Here, I file an IA report on a sergeant. And when IA is supposed to be investigating this sergeant, politically connected sergeant, he then conspires with that sergeant to maliciously file a false police report in order to put charges on me. So this way, every time I ask, hey, what's going on with...
Thank you. I did get one question. I personally don't know the answer to it in regards to property.
The Newsy property, there was something that the administration should probably look into. There was a deal, there was something like that, right? The pile was 75 feet high. They came to this body and they asked for an extension of time. I think...
We didn't grant it to them.
Right, but it was during COVID. So I do understand that they had issues, but I don't think anybody's ever went back there and taken a look to see that the pile is down to the... And they got that at a very good deal.
$2,500.
Because it had to be lowered. So I think the administration should verify that they have upheld their end of the contract, to be honest with you. I haven't been down there.
Just because I'm not familiar, if it's okay to bring
Council President.
discuss after, or?
We should do a monitor status of their 2-year plan that's coming up. They did use force majeure on that issue at that time, whether it was accepted or not, COVID, but the practice itself was supposed to, and part of the bid, which our argument was part of the bid was the discount was for the operation of the project. So
Right.
Discussion later to table. Thank you, Council President.
Other comments on
Council-
that question?
Yeah, Council President, I have the long history and knowledge about this particular property. This owner, he came to us, we went to the back door. In the closed room, we explained him, and here we come. I think we need to keep close tab, and if we can get the report from the administration, how far they are complying with what the clauses we put when we sold this property to them. Again, just a disclaimer, I was a strong no vote on selling that property to that firm, and for very fact that knowing that they may not comply with our regulations. But here we go again, after 2-3 years, we are at the same point. So I would be interested to find more about how far they have complied to the clauses in the sale agreement. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. At this time, we'll open it up to anyone else from, yeah.
Hi, good evening, everybody. Ricardo Casado from 205 Jackson. Since I last spoke here to talk about the issue with the situation on Jackson Avenue, I have spoken to Pointer. I have spoken to Sergeant Cimino for quite a while. My issue here is before this issue came to be, I was working closely with Coyle. He connected me with Sergeant Turner. There was a study that was done in reference to the parking signs, enforcement and replacement of signs that I requested. That went as far as a study. I'm talking about a police officer walking down the street and coming to my property to let me know they're working. Now, the only problem I have is that Sergeant Cimino has asked me if we can start over. I have a problem with that because I'm a taxpayer and I'm a property owner, and I do not need to start over with a new administration. This is the problem. The problem is that none of the records for Mr. Turner can be found. I have a problem with that. So I am here to formally request that they look into everything that was done prior and that all those records be provided to me. I am entitled, as I started this situation, I am entitled to continue, not to start over. I'm here to demand these papers officially. We also requested formally by Esther, she formally requested that we get an Oprah on what we need to do to make the street resident-only parking. We're still waiting on that Oprah release. So I am here to formally request it myself. In reference to, I want to thank Mr. Pointer for taking the time to call me, actually setting up a meeting. I hope that you guys take the time to attend because this is serious and we're not going to let it go. I am not starting over. I'm here to tell you that. So I know that Sergeant Turner got a new position. I don't know what you guys do when somebody transfers to a new position. Where does the work they were doing go? So I like an official investigation into where is all that paperwork. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there any change of when the information, if someone changes a position, that it gets, like the information gets transferred anywhere?
The information maintains, and so there's just follow-up with a new, someone new there to continue it. So there shouldn't necessarily be a stop hold. So I will check with the chief as far as where that may have stopped and then where we can continue.
So pretty much it was at the point where we were gonna get a resolution. The study was done. So basically what we need to look into is where is the study so I can get the results. Unfortunately, I got injured so I couldn't follow through. However, I am not here to babysit anyone. You guys have jobs, you represent us, and we expect things. We do. Thank you.
Council President?
Yes, Councilwoman Freeman.
They don't need an Oprah to do a residential petition, so they can actually start one of them, can't they?
Just.
Excuse me?
I just to maintain.
Yes,
I
I'm
know,
sorry.
I know what
I'm
you're
sorry.
saying. If okay, we can discuss after, if that's okay, just some procedural items. Yes, Councilman
Council President, I believe Councilman Patil knows how many, because we were trying to do something similar in a different neighborhood. So he does know the requirements.
It's a 70% of on that street.
Thank you. I just want to, you still have time. I don't think the time has elapsed, so I don't know if that was.
Problem is that we were told 80%. So we want official documentation that states so we don't waste our time because we're going to follow up with this and we're going to continue. You're going to see us a lot. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Yes. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, this is Shravan, 109 Linda Lane. I'm here all the first time. I'm looking for help. There's a safety reason, right, in my district. So it's basically intersection on Inman Avenue on Linda Lane. To take a left, right, it's during the morning and evenings, it's like really hell, you know. There's a safety issue, it's accident going to happen, it's a big thing. So I'm looking forward to support from you guys if you can do something. Inman Avenue and Linda Lane.
Westgate property.
Westgate 1 and 2.
Westgate property.
Westgate 1 and 2, we have 600, 700 residents. And then we have cars in and out, maybe, you know, I can say in the morning and evening.
If okay, could you give our deputy clerk the information? And in previous conversation with Sergeant Semino, she did ask, we have a resident portal to request citizen requests.
Okay.
On it, one of the drop downs is in regards to traffic patterns. She did ask for any complaints as such or inquiries to research to submit through that portal first. I don't have the direct link on me, but if okay, can you give your information to the deputy clerk and I'll follow up with you?
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else from the public that wishes to speak? Sir?
Good evening. Ben's from Edison, New Jersey. Have the floor, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Council President. So, what a session from Monday I couldn't attend, but that's all right. Do we have an update for the book banding? If we can proceed into the no book banding, that'll be great. I have other concerns as well. Once again, there's a video out there, and I guess most of you guys saw it. The San Valley, what is it? San Joaquin Valley Transparency guy. So, I know you were on the video as well, and I guess you've read the comments. You know, everybody wants some change in this township and in this administration. 1 week ago from today, I went to the police administration's office. I see a sign that is very unconstitutional and very un-American, where there's a sign where, oh, you need an appointment, no video recording. So these two internal affairs officers are restricting me in a public lobby that we pay for. I don't like this. That sign should not be up there on the third floor of the police administration. It's unconstitutional. And the way I'm being treated from these videos, how these two officers, I don't know what their names are, Susel and Geis, literally come over, pulls me over out of the blue without, if you see, I feel like I'm being targeted in this town. I lost my mom and my niece, mind you, okay? And the last thing I don't need is to be targeted, okay? And I just got a phone call with the police. It looks like one of the internal affairs, they want to meet with me because they were just at my house moments ago. This is ludicrous. I'm not having this anymore. I do not want to be targeted of a crime I never committed, be jailed for, let's just say, for 5 years for something I didn't do. Imagine they did this to you guys. It's not right. So I even have other stories I don't want to bring up, but I had an issue with one of the schools of accusing me for something, and I will release that with a body camera as soon as possible. But what I don't want is this whole attack. Okay, I don't want to be accused for something I didn't do on July 2020, what was it, 2021? So they're accusing Christo and me, because I'm coming, if you watch the video, you already know. They're going to accuse me that, oh, you were there for 30 minutes when I was there for 15 minutes. That's a whole, so these officers that I just mentioned, they're trying to fish something, trying to make me like I had something to do with it. I'm really getting sick and tired of this. And now they're at my house. So I'm just really very disappointed. Very disappointed. Really am. This is not who we are as a township, okay? I don't want any investigations on me anymore, okay? I'm already in the process of sponging my damn record so I can get my freaking SOAR license so I can protect and love people when I do my job. I don't need all this. Because the next thing I'm about to do, I'm about to sue the living hell out of this township, the police administration. I'm not complaining. If I have to have Mr. Christo's lawyer involved with this, let me tell you, like I said in the past, in the beginning of June, these needs to stop because you're asking for a fucking lawsuit. And I am sick and fucking tired of this shit. I want to be left alone. I don't want these officers to talk to me. I just want to be left alone and I can get sponge my record, pursue it into my SORA, protect people, and that's it. I don't need this, okay? And by the way, I like the current council ticket. Congratulations, Joyce. And also, it was your birthday, by the way, so happy birthday.
Thank you.
And and Mayor Sam Joshi is doing a great job, including in Washington. So I guess that's going to do it. Ms. Marlena, how many minutes do I have, please? A minute and a half. I'll reserve it for a rebuttal if necessary. Thank you and have a great day.
Just to afford, would you like any, I'm not saying there may or may not, would you like any comment from any
If you
council?
guys want to comment about the recent videos, you know, I understand that, you know, it's kind of a targeting or because they are seeing what you guys are doing. Just Mr. Coyle, for example, what he, you know, shouting. They don't like that. You know, the viewers on YouTube, they hear it, okay? I personally don't need this. I know you guys don't need this. This township doesn't need this. And the people behind me are the people who voted for you guys don't need this. For real. I don't. Nobody. He shouldn't be targeted in this township. I'm seeing too much collusion, too much corruption, too much resolutions, or say, oh, it's what is it? For example, if it's something was like $96,000 or more, it should be lower than that. Why? Because where's that extra money is coming? Like, is that money being granted, or 96? Oh, it's like, for example, if it's 96. Well, I'm sorry, let me rephrase. If it was 90, for example, and they say, oh, we're going to put in 96, so where is the 5,000 or 6,000 going to? Someone's pocket? That's no. If it says things need to be done, all right? If something says, oh, this is how this amount, that's the amount that you can choose. Nothing higher, so people get extra money off of those resolution money. No, just please.
Speaker's time is
Thank you.
Thank you. I did offer if there were any comments.
Check in on the Newsy group, please. Just check
Sir,
on the
sir.
Newsy group. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other first-time speakers? Yes. Sorry, Mr. Fagan, and then sorry.
Good evening, Nick Fagan, 42 Edgewood.
Sorry, you're recognized. You have the floor.
Thank you, Council President. Just a couple questions from me through the chair to the council member who is a member of the planning board. Could you address when the planning board will appoint an environmental commission member as per the ordinances of the town? If that could be addressed, please, or if there is somebody who is appointed that is the environmental commission person, appointee, that would be great. So on that. And then the second thing, also the same to the planning board member of the council. Last year, the council had addressed a letter unanimously, and I think it's all the same members, right? So it's all same signatures, that the request for the planning board was to live stream their meetings. As we head into hearings for the master plan, I think it would be very important for that, for the residents of the town to be able to see those if they can't come to town council and attend the meeting as in person. So I would ask that council member assert again to the chair that to put it up again for a vote of the planning board whether or not to do live streaming. And then I also remind the council member there that public comment has been removed from the planning board. So it used to be there. Mr. Coyle, when you were on the planning board, there was public comment on that agenda. It's been removed. It's gone now. So I would ask that you put it back, especially as we go into planning board or as in master plan hearing mode here. It is very important that the public get to comment and exchange ideas with the planning board. So there was that. And then credit where credit's due. Thank you to the administration for and the Code Enforcement Division for following up on a lawn and an unkempt property at 222 Plainfield Road. You all know who that property is. But the minute I put in the code violation, the day after it was addressed. So thank you for addressing that bad property owner. And I think that was it. I'll stay up here if anybody would like to reply to those questions.
Hey, Nick Fagan. So for the live streaming, I think they are aware, but it is not up to this board to decide whether or not to live stream. But I can bring it up again. That's not a problem.
If you could, there's a new board. There's new board members and a new, well, it's the same chair. But the last I spoke with the chair did tell me that he put it to his board and that the board unanimously voted it down. Now, whether that's true or not, I don't know, but that's what the chair told me, is that the board unanimously said no to, which doesn't make sense because one of the members signed the letter that's advocated for that. So I don't know if I'm getting told the truth.
Like I said, I cannot answer that question in full, but I can follow up with them. In terms of the Environmental Commission, again, I'll follow up with the planning board to see what they're doing because this is not the board that will decide that. Okay, thank you.
Appreciate it. Yeah, I don't believe that they're following our ordinances of the town. So it's not cool that they're not respecting your rules and laws. So.
Can I offer insight on the Environmental Commission member aspect?
Yeah, please, if you have, help me understand.
Because when I was on the Environmental Commission, I made that same exact question. And I understand how the language can be inferred that an Environmental Commission member has to be part of the planning board. But it's essentially the other way around, where a member of the planning board is supposed to be, whether it's an exec member or like one of the liaison positions to the Environmental Commission. But I know how it's written in our ordinance is it doesn't read correctly. When I reviewed the state statute, it's a little more clear. I know that's probably not the answer that you're looking for, but I asked the same question probably about 2018 when I was on the Environmental Commission.
So I appreciate the explanation. Thank you for that.
Council President?
I would ask that you, as the governing body of the city or of the township, reconsider that ordinance or rewrite it to have what you intend on it. So I don't know right now if this collection of counselors intend for it to be the way you just stated, or because it was passed many times, many years ago. So I ask you, bring it back up, fix it to what you want it to be.
Just my understanding, it's one of those, it's the state statute that kind of supersedes township statute. So under the MLUL, Municipal Land Use Law, it stipulates the construction of not only the planning board, but the zoning board, the environmental commission, historic commission, and such. So we're kind of bound by that.
Thank you for your time.
Appreciate it. Thank you. I may have missed comments or
Council President,
question. Is it in regards to,
the comments that were made by Mr. Fagan, you and I both served on the Environmental Commission, so it made sense, and that's what I think he's applying to. I know Nish serves on a bunch of committees, and he promised me to take on more committees, and he's already on the Bike Commission. I mean, he's taking care of the bike lane, he's involved with the Garden Club, he's practically a commissioner already. So I think it always makes sense that our council member joins the Environmental Commission eventually. I mean, you're already serving on the bike, doing great stuff in the bike world for bike lanes. And that previously we were all on that, so it kind of worked hand in hand for the ordinance or the law that is a gray area, but that could solve the problem.
thank you. Anyone else? Sorry, sir, you had a question.
Dear council members, good evening. My name is Madhu Semakurti, elected first time for the committee member from District 1. I was walking in my district, and many of them have complained bad roads in our district. So I'd like to know how do we address that, as well as how do I know when did they last paved our roads?
Is there a direct, I know we had the citizens request portal to submit inquiries in regards to requesting street pavement. Do we have an update as to what the potential upcoming list may be?
I didn't make out the name of the street. Can he just repeat the name of the street?
The District 1.
District 1?
Yeah, I can give you the list of all the roads in the district.
Sure, if you could.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So if I don't understand, it's off Inman, kind of towards the
Inman,
northwest side
yeah,
of
Annette
town?
Drive, Julie Drive, Phillip Drive, all those areas. Thank you.
If possible, could you give your information to the deputy clerk? I'll make sure that we follow up with you.
Yep, definitely.
Thank you.
And what about the patches? I mean, if for a temporary fix, we have to do the citizen portal too?
It would be helpful, because that's how they kind of query the requests from residents. Like, yes, we can take the request and submit it as well. It's kind of easier if everything's filtered through one standalone process, though.
Yeah, it is better to have new payment done, so I would have permanent fix, so that I don't get questions from my district members. Thank you.
Understood. Please give the deputy clerk your information. I appreciate it.
Good evening. Thank you.
Council President,
Yeah.
I just, the administration, they'd normally, or the prior administration, they would reach out to like PSE&G and Middlesex Water to make sure that they're not planning on opening up the streets like next year. I know the whole north side of Edison, PSE&G and Middlesex Water have basically torn up every street we have up there. So before we pave it, that we make sure that we have the infrastructure done with those two entities?
We do. So our list actually was adjusted earlier this year there was a few streets that PSE&G was going in and having to get work done.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments, questions? Seeing none. Anyone else from first-time speaker? Thank you.
Hi, I'm Karishma from 31 Southfield Road.
Okay, you're recognized.
Thank you. So I'm kind of here for two things, if that's okay. The first thing, I'm here with the team park renovation team. Winter Street is right near Southfield Road, so I've gone to that park for like my entire life. And there are like a few things that I also wanted to address. Like my family and I, we go sledding at the park every winter, but we always have to like leave early because there's not enough lighting there, so we can only stay there for like a short amount of time. Also, during the summer, the trees become very overgrown as well as the bushes, which can cause an increase in the amount of mosquitoes in the area, which can deter a lot of parents and children from spending time outside, though that is what the purpose of a park is. Also, one last thing about the park is that, like, for visitors that are out of town or like out of the state, when they come to visit our house and we take them to the park, the chipped paint on all of the like park materials and stuff like that does not leave a good impression. So we often just don't end up going to the park at all, which is not great. The second thing I kind of wanted to talk about was I live on Southfield Road, and as a new driver, it is often difficult at night to drive on that road just because of the insufficient lighting. There's a lot of like bends and stuff, and it's just hard to see. Also, recently there was like an attempted robbery near the area, and it just would make residents feel safer if there was more like lighting outside. That's it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Looking at the,
Wait a minute.
I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Okay, were you through with your
Oh, yeah.
comments?
Yeah, I was done. Thank you.
Okay, yeah. Looking at the pictures of this park, I have to say, it does look like it's in pretty deplorable shape. And as far as the lighting around that area, this is a problem that has been brought to my attention, oh my gosh, I think 2 years ago, and it does not sound like it has been addressed properly. So once again, to the business administrator, this is pretty much restating, but emphasizing, putting an exclamation point on the problem here. So anything else that we can offer at this time?
Sure, we're going to look into this. I know we put in a new pickleball court there, so we've made some improvements there. But I do want to point a clarification that the parks close at dusk. So I know there may be issues with lighting, but at dusk, it does become obviously a safety issue. So that's why the parks, that is the general ordinance that covers that.
Council President, you say you put a pickleball court there. Because they're asking for a tennis court and a basketball court. So I just was like, I'm a little confused now when you're saying, and they're talking about the same court, right? Are they talking about Winter Park, right?
Yes, I know. I will clarify that, but I believe it was a pickleball court that was put in there.
I don't believe so. I feel like the last time I visited, there was like water logging on the court, and it wasn't in like a usable condition. So.
No, unfortunately, from a standard rule, if okay, I'll definitely
and
stay after
basketball.
to discuss further. I apologize, but thank you for understanding. I missed most of the conversation, so I apologize.
So Sonia was just explaining that the parks close at dawn, and that's why the lighting, that's correct. So that's why we cannot, the lighting will be an issue like that. Is that the reason why we wouldn't do lighting in the park?
That is part of the reason, yes.
Okay.
And I just want to confirm, there is a new pickleball court in there, so.
Where?
It's like the Winter Street Park next to Oliver.
So I'm getting confusing. Is the pickle court there already, or are we gonna build it there? It's there already.
It's brand new, it just got put in. Councilman Patil is looking at me.
Actually, that is what I was told. In fact, Mayor did tell me that we just put the pickleball court. I didn't get a chance to go inside the court to check it, but again,
Yes.
I'll go there and check it.
I do remember the pickleball court supposed to be built there, but I would think you would have noticed.
Council President.
I'm just curious, are we putting pickleball balls in every playground so students and children don't have an opportunity for tennis? How many pickleball courts are we gonna do? I'm just questioning, young ladies, for because I'm sure when you came with your friends and your age and younger would like to play tennis there and basketball.
Yeah.
This because it's a park.
I mean, I I do play tennis. I've never played pickleball, but
Yeah.
I'm just one person. So.
Yes.
Council President,
Yes.
I just, I certainly would go there personally and take a look at the park. I enjoy that park, and, but looking at the pictures, I think there needs to be a comprehensive plan along with whatever improvements they're doing. They need to be tied together, because I know the grass areas, don't look great, but we'd have to probably do a lot of tree pruning to add light so you get some sun on the grass. They'd have to rake things out and probably put up some fence areas so people don't walk on the grass. It has to be done in the springtime when there's a lot of rain, but, and perhaps they'll consider some veg management in the back and some new trees to block out some of that old brush. We'll confirm whether you have a pickleball court or not, but I'm seeing some people in the back saying no. But, and I think you know more than we do because you're there every day. But I certainly, I understand your concerns, and I wasn't sure if your friend wanted to speak separately. I just didn't want to block her out. But that's through the council president. But thank you. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other first-time speakers?
Council President, just want to make the point there, the lighting issue. If there is any pole that you see the light is not working, note down the pole number and send us an email, and we'll, of course, work with the administration.
Any other first-time speakers? Second time, which, just for clarification, I know I missed this part in the initial part. I know some people are newer here. The second time is in regards to a rebuttal. A rebuttal is on a topic that you did not initially speak on, in disagreement with a comment made by another member that has spoken. Any second-time speakers? Yes.
Am I recognized?
You're recognized.
Thank you. This wasn't, I'd like the clerk to pick this up and make copies, but first hand to Councilman Brescher. That's not my rebuttal. I forgot it wasn't picked up. I walked away with it. Someone said Mayor Joshi, good job in Washington, that he's doing a good job in Washington. I disagree. Mayor Joshi should be here in Edison, New Jersey. Yeah, he's neglecting his job.
Council President, point of order, this is not a rebuttal.
I'm not here for confrontation.
It is a counterpart point to a previous comment made by another speaker that spoke at the podium. Therefore, I find it within the rebuttal guidelines.
Thank you. You've been doing such a great job. I'm so proud that you're our council president, John Pointer. You have a lot of integrity. Like I said, somebody said Mayor Joshi's doing a good job in Washington. He should be here in Edison, New Jersey. He should be putting a leash on the Edison Police Department. If he was doing a good job, he'd be putting a leash on the Edison Police Department rather than going to Washington, trying to break some corny Guinness World Records with his mail order bride. Yeah, he really should be here. Somebody said that they like the current council ticket. The only thing good about the current council ticket is only that Brescher's on it. It's been hijacked. Joyce should have been on the ticket. 100 Joyce, he should have been on the ticket. But I'm going to speak about it next time, how they framed you. I got to go. They did frame you. You were framed. Your accounts were hacked. I know for a fact that your accounts were hacked. They did some BS. And not even that, people impersonated accounts with your likeness, just like mine. But I actually got my person charged. But yeah, Mayor Joshi's not doing a good job in Washington. Right now, the police are at A.J. Ben's house as we speak to intimidate this young man, or probably to solicit more false confessions. But yeah, if Mayor Joshi was doing a good job, he wouldn't be in Washington. He'd be here. He'd be here to make sure that these mafia companies aren't buying million-dollar properties for. I made a mistake that it was $5,000 earlier. Thank you for correcting me, Councilman Ko. I had no idea it was. The fact that it's $2,500 is even more. That's even more. So we gave them a property for $2,500. It's worth millions, and they The way they thank us is by turning around, framing lifelong Edison residents, and using Edison police officers to do so. When I get out of here, they're probably going to arrest me on another fake charge. So call up my house and see if I'm okay.
Speaker's time's elapsed.
Thank you. Any rebuttals? Yes.
Ben's from Edison, Jersey. I think, like I said, I'm just going to disagree with Christo. The mayor is doing a great job. Thank you.
You spoke on that, but thank you. Sir, in regard, yes, in the back. Just for clarification, it's a rebuttal in regards to a different discussion point.
Can I not talk about any other issue?
If, from a technicality standpoint, if it was not addressed by someone else, is not a proper rebuttal, and in accordance with our guidelines and Robert's rules, I have to treat everyone with the same guidelines and rules.
Will I get a chance?
If okay, I'll definitely stay afterwards to discuss.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other first-time speakers? Second-time speakers? Can I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Council President, I have one.
I was going to offer council comments.
Same here,
So, Councilman Patil, start with you.
Thank you, Council President. Happy to see the recently elected committee members from District 1, 62, and 75. That's why you are elected, to represent your districts, bring your issues to our attention so we can do our job. And thank you. And also want to give shout out to our Edison School Union members here. Thank you for coming here.
Council President, first, since I know we won't be here, and she works directly for us, I would like to wish Cheryl Rusamano a happy birthday on Friday.
Happy birthday.
At all. And number two, tennis and technology. 2023, a summer tennis academy will be, I guess, at the Oak Tree courts that have been refurbished. And it's a 5-week program. And anyone that's interested with its pro with Larry Dillon is 732-735-8837. The ages are from 6 to 12, and they meet on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So if you would like your kid to be strategy and tactics, athleticism, technique, mental, emotional, and character training, it would be a good program for your child to get into. And it's a 5-week program, and it starts on July 11th. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilman Patel?
I just wanted to say congratulations to District 1, 62, and 75. I love that you guys are participating in democracy, and that's very important. And this is exactly what I wanted from the committee members to do, to bring us problems that they see, because we don't see all the problems. So thank you for bringing it to our attention.
Thank you. Any other comments?
I just want to say, Council President, for those who are new here today, it's not the norm that people curse at a meeting here, and I'm quite certain you heard someone mention something 3 times in the room. Although there are people who believe it's their constitutional right to say what they want, I think it's certainly not a professional way to deal with those who are listening out at home, or the children who are here today participating, whether they're students or college students. It's just not right, and I do not support that at all. Thank you, Council President.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes,
I'd just
Councilman
like to
Brescher.
wish everybody a happy 4th. Enjoy the weekend. And I'd like to reiterate, it's great seeing the committee people here bringing the issues from your districts down here. It helps the administration, know what the issues are in our little local areas. So I do appreciate you guys coming down here. Thank you.
Thank you. And I already saw emails from Marlena in regards to contact information, but as I said, I'll stay to further discuss. At this time, can I get any other comments? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
This meeting stands adjourned.